All right, then we'll go ahead and get yours later on when it is completely done. But for now, let's go ahead and move on to the discussion, which is going to be our comic. That didn't work out as I planned. There we go. But yes, the My Little Pony Holiday Special for 2015. Of course, the one big thing that drew me to this comic, right there. The Christmas Vacation reference right on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so this whole issue, the whole idea is, well, Twilight and Spike are trying to get back to Ponyville, but can't. Of course, we will expand on why a little bit in the comic, and to pass the time, they read little stories. And now we're going to go ahead and enjoy this comic to the fullest. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here because I want to make sure that you guys can enjoy the comic to the fullest. And let's see. There we go. I can arrow it. Starting off with, you can see Twilight Spike are completely stuck at the train tracks. Of course, it is currently snowing, and Spike is probably getting either coffee or hot chocolate coffee.
That's called a mocha.
Yeah.
Well, at least in America it is.
I love drinking hot chocolate.
Apparently, I could say full of seductively, so I will go with it. But yes, one thing I found interesting about this right off the bat with the comic, the art style is really cartoony. At least a little bit more than usual, but a lot of the time I'm usually seeing the art drawn by Cook, which it tends to be goofy, but it's not so rubbery, is the best way I could...
Wasn't Cook in drawing on this one?
Actually, he is. The fun thing about this, I'm going to show this right up.
I thought Cook was a woman.
No, Katie Cook, actually. Not Andrew Cook. What was I thinking? Andy Price.
Thank you.
Now, the funny thing about this is the art is actually done by 4 different artists. And how is that done? Well, we will explain that as we go. But it's not a bad art style. I will say that right off the bat, the art style is not bad. I do kind of like the slightly cartoony look. It's a little bit different, and it does lend itself to some interesting moments. But yes, we see that Spike and Twilight are currently waiting, hoping that the train gets back to running. They are currently stuck at the train station trying to get back to Ponyville because Twilight wants to get to Pinkie Pie's Heartswarming Eve party. Of course, Spike, trying to be the reasonable person, cough cough, of course, is saying, you know, there's no point. We should get back to your parents. We're stuck here. We shouldn't try to get home because everything's snowed in anyway. And when he's trying to prove his point, he opens the door and is buried alive. We never saw Spike again.
Yeah, by the way,
He's
Sand,
a dragon. He can get out of this.
By the way, Sand, I was thinking the same thing. She's in the show. She's pretty much at this point willing to teleport anywhere.
Yeah, but considering that she's literally in Canterlot, I don't think she's ever been able to teleport all the way from one city to another.
There was that one time... No, wait, she had the power of the other 3 alicorns. Yep, no.
Yeah, and that one she was doing it wildly, so... no control at all. But yeah, Spike, unfortunately, in his blissful ignorance, which I like that right there, blissful ignorance, gets completely buried in snow. So they have no choice but to be stuck at the train station because they are pretty much buried alive in the building. So Spike is complaining about being bored. Twilight is not worried because she brought a book. Or so she thought. Apparently, her parents a little earlier accidentally, well, one of her parents caught an eyeful of the book and started to read it and forgot to put it back. Of course, the funny thing is that Twilight yells out in anguish, wanting to read the book, quote unquote, I was going to curl up in front of a fire with a blanket and a mug of tea and read it. So, yeah, like father, like daughter, apparently. So, yeah, Spike notices that there are books next to the coffee place, and Twilight immediately decides to destroy it. leading to one of the best pictures of obsessive book horse I have ever seen.
By the way, did you know there was Lord of the Rings on the book that Twilight's dad had? Sorry, I had to step away there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the book, a lot of thing about the comic, and I'm not going to point out all the references because I do want people to read this. I want people to actually pick up this comic, go find it, go buy it, go read it. There are a little side references, little jokes, little things like that you can see if you actually take the time to look at the art and look at everything that is in it. But yeah, personally, I just love that book, the obsessive book horse face right there. It's one of the things that really makes my day with the whole cartoony look that they have with this. But yes, they find out that the books are a bunch of kids' books because it's Christmas, kids like them. Why not? But so Spike is bored enough that he wants Twilight to read one anyways because, dear God, please don't make me actually have conversations with people.
Read me a bedtime story, Twilight.
Yes. And joining us to continue talking about this is Crazy Matt Captain. By the way, to Tokoi and CMC, I do have a PDF of the comic in
I already got it taken care of.
Yeah, in case you guys wanted to grab a copy of it to follow along or comment on the action as it's going.
See if I won't break my internet.
There we go. But yes.
Of course, it starts with 7 hours.
Yes. Just be sure to delete it afterwards, or else I might get in trouble.
Spread it all across the internet. Got it.
Okay, but yeah, Spike pretty much proves he's a jerk at this point by saying, quote, "I'm tired, I'm cranky, and I'm hungry, and I want you to pamper me. Read away."
Well, he is still technically a kid, so yep, he's filling that role nicely.
He's still a kid, but damn it if I wouldn't have thrown him out in the snow at that point. Now, the first story that they read is The Flying Reindeer. And this one is basically a take on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, who instead of having a very shiny nose, this reindeer is the only one that can fly. So instead of accidentally causing cars to stop in the middle of the streetlight, she is literally flying over the cars and proving that she is much better than the rest of them.
You know what? I like the whole thing of them changing the characters that we know and making like normal animal things, like the spots on a young deer, like the cutie mark.
A little bit like that, yeah. The whole idea is to they're kind of referencing the whole reindeer thing. The one thing I will get off the bat here, if nobody's noticed it just yet, the art style has changed at this point. Which is why there are 4 artists. For each one of the little side stories, they actually use a different artist. Which is pretty awesome for the annual, really.
Huh. That is quite interesting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, going on to the story, Rainbow Dash obviously playing as the flying reindeer is able to fly around. And of course, the other reindeer decide that she is a freak. Of course, who better to do this than Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara?
You're a freak!
Yeah, pretty much. And of course, because even though she can fly, immediately the first words out of their mouth, lame. Flying reindeers are so weird. Ugh, Rainbow, why did you have to be so weird?
Alright, better question. Why are they not celebrating this?
It's Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara.
Oh, right. It's pre-redemption.
Crusaders
of the Lost Mark.
Yeah, pre-redemption. Yeah. And immediately they even make a reference to the reindeer games. I say we don't let her play any of our weirdo play any of our reindeer games. What do you mean reindeer games? I don't know. I was thinking we should play Maropoly or something. Anyway, she can't play with us. And of course you see one reindeer right there with a bunch of reindeer games. Starting off with Apology.
Just like, really?
We got Apology, Connect Forlock, Gelding Wars, Maropoly, Dandyland, and Cattle Ship.
By the way, Dandyland, is that just a lot of space dandies?
Actually, oh dear God. Oh dear God, I'm just having this horrible vision now of not Space Dandy, but our own Space Dandy, Sketchy Wolf on the cover of basically Candyland. Could you imagine that? Called Dandyland.
Oh, I might draw it.
Just have him sitting there with his arms folded. It's like Dandyland. It's like, oh dear God.
By the way, does anybody else find it very disturbing that in an equine-based universe, a game marketed to the children in that universe is called Gelding Wars?
A little bit.
I would if I knew what the hell gelding was.
Gelding is pretty much neutering, if I remember right.
Yep.
Wow. Well, if you think about it, it's kind of like the South Park equivalent of Rochambeau. Gelding Wars. Whoever's the last to get their balls kicked wins. Anyway, yeah. And, of course, they have to do the snooty thing and have their heads held high with one of them obviously hating Meropoly and the other one wondering if it's about to storm. Which also makes me question who in their right mind plays board games outside. Which also reminds me when I was in grade school, I actually played a board game outside. That was a very bad mistake.
If you don't play Monopoly, then it should be good, because most other games have most of the pieces right on the board. Whereas Monopoly, you just have all those little bills go...
Yeah, but unfortunately, I had the dumb idea of playing right next to a sewer grate, and it was my favorite Power Rangers board game.
Oh!
We lost to Red Ranger that day.
No, not Jason / Rocky!
Yeah, Jason. The first Power Rangers. Anyway, moving along here. So, Rainbow Dash, or should we call it Reindeer Dash? Reindeer Dash! We got it!
Yes!
Reindeer Dash it is! Alright. Reindeer Dash is feeling depressed and sad when suddenly Luna crashes into her. Of course, the immediate question Spike comes up with, why is Princess Luna in this book?
I would Spike.
And then Twilight finds out she's the one that wrote it. So,
well, that explains why there's Rainbow Dash in this.
That may explain it, or they're just substituting the characters because of imagination. At the same time, yeah, so Luna wrote herself into a book. Let's call it fan fiction at this point.
Yay, fan fiction!
But yes, Luna crashes into Reindeer Dash, and also apparently, I think it's Spruce Goose.
Oh, a Spruce Goose? Yay! I love that movie.
That's not what I was meaning. Actually, I forgot the name of that stupid goose from Adventure Time.
No, I'm talking about Yogi Bear and the Spruce Goose.
I know, and I'm talking about the stupid rhyming goose from Adventure Time. Because there's no way that is a flying wooden plane right there. That is a dumbass bird. Literally. But yes, Luna, losing her temperament, tries to kill the goose with a fruitcake. Obviously, before she can commit birdicide, Reindeer Dash jumps into the action, saving the fruitcake. I'm guessing it's either her favorite flavor or she really does care.
I'm going with the fact she was hungry.
Oh, Juice Goose. It's Juice Goose, or Goose Goose. Yeah, Juice Goose. So Juice Goose, there we go. So yes, Reindeer Dash saves Juice Goose from fate worse than happiness. Of course, Luna is surprised that there is suddenly a reindeer that can fly, and also flies very well. She's wondering if she may have misread that reindeer can't fly, and decides to act all haughty anyway because she is a princess, and she must deliver all these gifts to her princess sister's constituents. Yeah, she's not delivering toys to the girls and boys. She's delivering political toys to personal political favors.
As you do.
As you do. And unfortunately, she finds that her wing is broken. So much so that she ends up screaming in pain and interrupting a rousing game in Meropoly, where apparently Diamond Tiara is winning quite handily.
And we know this how?
Because she has all the money.
But there's no hotels on the board yet.
And I say, we doubt this how?
Well, we can't tell because we're only seeing half the board, but the fact is she has all the money. You have all the money, you win. I don't care who you are. But yeah, apparently Luna unfortunately broke her wing, or at least sprained it, so she can no longer fly the carriage. And of course, Reindeer Dash is trying her best to help out, not noticing it's a wing issue, but thinking the baskets have a problem. And then Luna decides, wait, you can fly, you'll do my work for me. Because that's exactly what princesses do. So she immediately starts to harness Reindeer Dash and start talking about how wonderful it would be to help the equestrian royal sisters deliver confectionery delights to the constituents. And of course, she eventually kind of convinces her, but of course, before they fly off, Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara come to start gloating to Reindeer Dash and trying to get in good with the Lunar Princess. Of course, the Lunar Princess is able to see through their shenanigans right off, and tells them how amazing it is that they can fly. How dare they make fun of her that she can't fly, because she can fly everywhere. It's a privilege being able to be so free and fly around the clouds and the sky and the birds, including Juice Goose, who is apparently doing the call of the singing the song of his people there.
Which, by the way, I think Luna is saying, you know what? It's good to be different.
Yeah, it's pretty much good to be different, and in some cases it makes you even better. And of course, Reindeer Dash has probably the most interesting happy sad face at the exact same moment there on the left, until she suddenly gets harnessed. And they begin flying off into the night with Silver Spoon actually saying the most poignant thing at all. Do you think the lesson here is we should just be nice to everyone? And Diamond Tiara replying, I don't think that was it. Completely missing the point. And there it ends the first story. And Spike pretty much says it best. I like that one. It has comeuppance. I gotta admit, that's some of my favorite stories where you get comeuppance.
Yep.
Alright, and Twilight Sparkle says, let's go ahead and do another story. And of course we have the coffee pony, who we finally get a name of Mocha Macchiato Cafe Latte Skim. Or, for short, his friends call him Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe, love ya.
Cup of Joe, no relation to Pony Joe, I believe.
Also, no relation to the Kappa.
Alright. So they go ahead. So Spike grabs another book and starting to eat. Twilight asks him, please, no, don't eat with your mouth full. And we go to the Toy and the Mouse. I will give you guys 5.
Oh man, the idea.
Oh, the Nutcracker.
Of course it's a Nutcracker. I was going to give him a little bit of time to see if they figure it out. So
sad boy, and his brother is Cup of Dirt.
But yes, we go on to the Nutcracker, and Rarity, of course, is playing the young woman that finds the Nutcracker. Of course, the story is mostly told in narrative, where she had her favorite toy under the tree, but the toy was broken by her sister. And, of course, she immediately starts to destroy her. But, of course, the toy was already fixed, so she apparently was about to destroy her sister for fixing a broken toy. So, yeah, the fun thing about this is basically the narrative of the story keeps bouncing around with the characters involved. So, the princess, we'll just call her Rarity at this point. Rarity is so relieved that her toy is fixed that she decides to hold on to it and fall asleep near the Christmas tree, where at night, when the clock strikes midnight, it suddenly turns into a prince. Because why not?
I like the line. Oh, I like this book.
Yes.
All right, I'm starting to wonder if Rarity's knowing that she's in a storybook.
Actually, it kind of is. It's a fourth wall break joke. This whole book is basically fourth wall breaking. So this whole story, and then the Mouse King shows up, and immediately Rarity is done with the story. She does not want to be part of a story with a giant mouse. And of course, the Nutcracker Pony Prince tries to convince her, stay. Lots of good stuff is coming, like fairies and dancing and me. But nope, the giant rat is apparently a deal breaker.
I'm trying to, let's see, what is it? How many other books would love to have me star in them? Don't sweet about this. I like the, well, she's unprofessional.
Yep.
And of course, we get a horseshoe right at the Mouse King's face there. Mm-hmm. And that is the end of the story. So, second story, nicely done quick. And of course, they are nice and sound asleep until the ringing of the bells suddenly wakes them up. Quite randomly too, apparently.
Also, Spike lost his shed panel.
Thank goodness. Well, wow. Apparently, he was scared so hard that the shirt literally phased out of existence. That's a good catch, though. I did not see that. So yeah, Cup of Joe accidentally wakes him up, and he said that what he was doing was setting up a little party for them because they were already stuck there. Of course, Pony Joe was already deciding to stay there because he wanted to make sure that they weren't left alone and didn't want them to spend Christmas alone. Of course, he doesn't have family. All he has is Puddles the fish, which he wouldn't mind him not being home, which we find is completely wrong. And apparently goldfish do have feelings.
He looks like Flounder.
Yes, goldfish do have feelings. They just forget what they are 7 seconds later.
There you go.
Actually, Mythbusters once again proved that somewhat false.
Actually, we'll leave that one alone for now. But yeah, badass goldfish. So now now he suggests a book to read that is one of his favorites. Which of course is The Night of Heartswarming Eve. And while they're already snacking away at the treats. And for this one, I'm going to go... For this one, I can't do it proper justice unless I actually read the story. So, here we go.
Oh, wait, I'll take over if you need me to.
Alright. 'Twas a night of heartswarming eve, and all through the home, not a creature was stirring, not even the cat, whose name was Jerome. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, stuffed to the brim with bad gifts from last year that might go up in a flare. The fillies were nestled and snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. What's a sugar plum, you say? It's a candy. I looked it up yesterday. In my pajamas, down to the slipper like bunnies, had just settled in after reading the funnies. Then out of the orchard... Huh?
Fan service.
There you go, fan service. The out of the orchard, there arose such a racket. I sprang from my bed and grabbed for my jacket. Away to the fields, I flew like a flash, and into the snow I fell with a splash. But what did my wandering eyes did see but my sisters trying to build a present just for me. Out in the barn they secretly worked. I had to sneak over, my interest was perked. One sister called out to the farm animals helping. Now Bessie, now Pork Chop, now Clucky, and you there that's yelping. Hand me that screwdriver and hold this right here. No, hold it right there! Did you seriously mishear? It's really her fault for having the livestock as aids. Did she expect a pig to be the jack of all trades? Yeesh. To the top of the porch, cried a sister as they carried the gift. The two of them, along with the cow, planted it in a snowdrift. We can't go through the door. He'll see us, one cried. You got a better idea, the other one chided. Down the chimney, the little one barked. That's the dumbest idea, the other one tried to remark. But too late it was, because she rushed to the roof. The other one followed, lifting up the gift with an oof. I chucked inside, watching them try, then had a brief start as I looked to the sky. Up at the chimney my sisters were setting, my gift lower into the... Wait, I think there's a fire in the fireplace! I almost screamed like a banshee! Yeah, there's no rhyme there. I ran into the house as quick as I could and grabbed up some cider to extinguish the wood. Whoosh went the drink into the fire, dousing the log. The sizzle and crackle of flames going out made deep fog. I peered through the mess to see what I could, and there on the wet log my present stood. I could finally see it. It was completely ideal. It was a little version of our home. It hit me right in the feels. A home for my action figure, my beloved Smarty Pants. It even had replicas of all of our plants. That's not an action figure, it's a doll. And of course we got the nice little image there. My sisters popped out right after the gift. I pulled them in for a hug, complete with a lift. I love you, big bro, they say as I ruffle their hair, hugging them close. I know how they care. Why are you youngins awake at 2 in the blessed AM? That's how you get the rickets! The night ended with presents, family, and food. We relit the fire for the perfect holiday mood. Settled in with my family, cozied up to the fire. I knew there was no higher life to aspire. I looked at my gift with my eyes shining bright. Happy hearts-warming eve to all, and to all, a good night.
I love the ponification of that poem.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one, and especially the little random jabs in there when things are kind of going slightly askew. Wait, there's a fire! It completely drops a rhyme. And then we start to reach the end of our little comic story. Spike is asleep. The story was quite boring. Okay, I gotta get out of the rhyming scene here. But yes, they finish up the story. Twilight in tow. I'm still trying to rhyme. This is my show.
Fear not, my friend, for I will show you how to mend. Quickly, think of an orange and then...
That was
Oh,
terrible.
well.
That was terrible, you know that.
I know that for a fact, Jack.
Alright, let's move on. But yes, Twilight and Spike finished hearing the story, and then shortly afterwards the door busts open! Oh, the cold is so biting it has broken down the door! But no, there are 5 figures in the distance, shadows galore. It just means that the Shadow Wranglers have come for Twilight. Her soul is now forfeit. She should have not dabbled in the dark arts this fine winter's eve. Oh no, wait, it's just her friends.
What could it mean?
No, I wasn't gonna write
Look
that.
at that AJ face.
The AJ face is quite priceless there, though. But yes, apparently her friends decided to come and visit. They contacted her parents somehow and found out that Twilight was supposed to be going back to Ponyville and found out that the trains were stuck. So they decided to hoof it all the way to the train station in Canterlot. Boy, these people are crazy.
Hopefully they didn't run amok.
And apparently,
Nah, I don't think so.
Ash can't handle all the cold.
But-
She's
yeah.
bundled up so tight.
Yeah. But yeah, they decided to bring the party to Twilight. Of course, the funny thing is that Twilight even asks, what about Big Mac, who was also part of the party? And they're just like, well, if he couldn't make it, what are you going to do? So yeah, they ditched Big Mac, so that's kind of sad there.
Well, he gets to spend time with his other sister and his grandmother.
Alright, of course there's a funny little joke in there. Twilight asked how in the world they made it all the way to Canterlot from Ponyville. Rainbow Dash replies back, it's a harrowing tale of friendship, hardship, and dedication that will need a full 20 pages to explain. But, of course, Pinkie Pie nips that in the bud, saying that the fourth wall joke is her bit. So, yeah, of course they announced that they brought the party because they did not want any pony to be left behind on a Pinkie Pie party, with Applejack immediately replying that they left Big Mac behind.
AJ, always loving to be the dead horse.
And of course, Cup of Joe is bringing hot drinks for everybody that made it through the cold. Pinkie Pie asking if he's on the guest list, and then immediately making him Spike's +1.
And Spike's sweater returns.
Yay!
The Spike sweater, it returns when it needs. And of course, Pinkie starts off the party right with a big Christmas explosion from her cannon. And immediately the next page, which pretty much sums up the comic in total. You have Pinkie Pie right there with the craziest look on her face with this exact sentence. My Pinkie sense told me to break into a random apartment and take this fish. That is the most insane thing.
You got me an apple. I know you like them.
But yes, apparently Pinkie Pie went into some random apartment and took puddles. because her pinky sense said so. It's just that look of craziness right there is just hilarious.
And Dash got herself the gift.
Dash got herself for the gift exchange. I gotta admit, that would be an interesting way to ensure that you get a gift that you want. But yeah, Pinky is Pinky. So yes, then you get the everybody getting together with their Christmas gifts, and that is it. That is the end. And that is the My Little Pony Holiday 2015 comic. And again, I know I've said it before. I will say it again. Buy the comic. This is a really fun comic. I really enjoyed it. The stories were good. The humor was all over the place. And, you know, I think it would actually make a fun little treat every single holiday.
Yep.
And it's quite nice to see the art style changes in the middle of the story.
Yep, you get a nice little touch from all different art styles. All of the different comic artists go in there and they give it their best. Then you know you just see the different flourishes, coloring. Does anybody have any opinions to give to it?
I think this is one of the things. If you find a good holiday comic like this, read them. Because that shows that, one, someone put effort and actually researched and said, you know what, I want to do something festive this year. Even if it's just parroting and remaking older material, they still put effort into it and made it fit into the universe.
That's one way to put it. But yeah, some people may already have it. That's definitely for people that do not have it. Check your comic stores, buy it online. And I hope you enjoyed our little spiel with the My Little Pony Holiday Special.
Stockings on page 2.
Alright, let's go to page 2 here. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I like the joke right there. Just stockings filled with random crap that might catch fire. It's like, wow.
Well, mostly what got me was Acme Sport Hose.
Oh, yeah, right. Acme Support Hose. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And it just suddenly dawned on me. And now I'm terrified.